Good evening, traders. This is a market analysis for 28th of July 2022. Today was an okay day, a balanced day. Especially we were short in the open, and then we managed to identify the reversal, trend reversal. And I, for one, since I usually trade Bank Nifty close to expiries, I managed to sit away from longs because I was expecting those deep pullbacks, which happened, which isn't a conductive environment to trade longs. Now, many people have asked me how exactly did I identify those longs coming in into the markets right at around lows. In case of Bank Nifty, it was at 9:30 since Bank Nifty was one of the stronger instruments. So if I look at the chart of Nifty, you can see that right in the opening candle itself, we've had three stacked imbalances right in the first 5 minutes candle. And then you can see that the second candle was a bearish candle. Please note that here the context for today was bearish, not bullish. As I stated in the yesterday's analysis video that I shared, we were expecting a neutral opening yesterday. This neutral opening gave a chance for bears to capitalize, but not bulls. Bears managed to capitalize it well, and today, as expected, we had a negative opening. The context was negative, and when I saw this bearish candle form at 9:20, I basically used 5 minutes time frame to trade my intraday trades. You can see that you see three imbalances on the bid side. Basically, when we talk about order flow, when you look at order flow charts, the bid side represents market shorts and limit long orders. Always note that order flow is not just one type of order. There are basically two kinds of orders that drive the market. Two types of orders basically. One is market orders and second one is limit orders. There are two kinds of orders which can be placed in market. The market orders is what drives the price of a security up and down. Limit order is there to provide liquidity to the market participants, and the majority of the order matching happens with between market and limit orders. In this case, whenever you look at the bid side represents to you market sell side orders and limit long orders, and ask side represents the opposite of it, market buy orders and limit sell orders. Now in the opening candle, as I was saying, you can see three imbalances at one point. Again, as I say, these imbalances settings are custom coded based on my own testing, and I can see three imbalances in my order flow chart, and this is a bullish candle. The next candle managed to take them out, and we saw a slowdown move. But what happened somewhere at around 9:50, in case of Nifty, I'm talking about Nifty, is you can see that these traders who actually showed aggression at lows, these sellers who actually showed aggression at lows, could not capitalize. These buyers managed to overpower them. You can see two imbalances on the ask side, which implies that market longs had a much more weightage. Market longs were showing imbalance compared to market shorts at this moment. And then once again at 10 a.m. If we see Bank Nifty, for example, in case of Bank Nifty, it was even clearer, to be honest. As I Bank Nifty was trying to show some strength right from the opening today. And if you can see in case of Bank Nifty, you can see how the 920 candle is. You can see the number of imbalances on the 920 candle. Imbalance essentially states a certain imbalance between the bid and the ask side in your order flow. And in spite of such a strong bearish candle at 920 with a lot of imbalances, you can see that at 935 there were again stacked imbalances, three imbalances using my custom analysis. And this is exactly the place where I even shared that at this point buyers were trying to absorb the selling orders. And then eventually at 950 you can see how this candle took up the market, changing the trend slowly. Moving on, if I look at today's analysis, these are some of the things. The main reason why I'm explaining it is because these are some of the things that I look in my charts on a day-to-day basis whenever I'm trading intraday, uh, and that's the reason why I wanted to share with you. Moving on for today's analysis, right now the largest volumes that were transacted today is between 16,580 and 16,620. As long as we stay above this particular price band, I am expecting the markets to be positive tomorrow. As long as we are above 16,580 to 16,620, there is a good chance market can go higher, with my initial reference being again the swing pivot high. The previous day's high is now, that I shared yesterday, is now invalid. The swing pivot high of 16,760 is my initial reference that I am looking at this point in case of longs. For me, short side trades will only come into picture tomorrow if we go below 15,680, and then in that case again my initial reference would be previous day's low. I don't have any references in between. As I keep saying, on a higher time frame, there is no shift in volume set, there is no large players interest either on the buy side or the sell side on a higher time frame. It's just purely intraday players and the previous days players who are driving the markets at this point of time. So this is something, these kind of markets is a place where you can see mean reversions happen on a very quick basis, what we are seeing since the last 2 3 days. Essentially, the short term context for now, as I'm this is something I've been repeating since the last 2 weeks like a broken tape recorder, and a lot of people still ask me, the short term context is still bullish. I do not see sellers coming in into the markets at highs yet. The buyers at lows who are positioned somewhere around 15,750 levels are still standing strong. Only when these 15,750 buyers will tend to exit, or if I see sellers coming in more at the current market prices, will I actually look for a positional short trade. As of now, 15,750 buyers are still strong, and we don't have any business at that level because we are trading somewhere at 16,660. So there is no need for us to look at that reference as of now. Moving on to Bank Nifty. Here we are. In case of Bank Nifty, things are a bit slightly different. Again, I know for a fact that we have an overnight event today, and even though that is not an event of our country, but still there is a chance markets can be impacted by that. But since using those data points, we cannot do analysis on a consistent basis, we will ignore what the news has to say and we'll focus on the charts. In case of Bank Nifty, 36,700 to 36,760, this price band is where I'm actually focused on. As long as we trade above this price band, you can see the whipsaw that you actually saw in closing time in case of Bank Nifty in this candles in this entire price range is nothing but essentially large volumes coming in. This is even order flow showed that, confirmed that apart from volume analytics. Now, and that is exactly the reason why we have the largest transacted volumes for the day being placed in this region, 36,700 to 36,760. As long as we continue to stay above it, again my most recent reference would be my swing pivot high towards longs. If we start moving down, this is when I will be bearish on Bank Nifty. Until then, I am not bearish on Bank Nifty. Below 36,700 is when, if at all we open below 36,700 futures level again, or start to go below it, that is when I will start selling calls for tomorrow's expiry. I will first begin with 800, and then with 700, and then 600 if we continue to move down. The initial reference to the downside again is today's low. Between today's low and today's high, it is a lot of open ground, to be honest. And even in case of Bank Nifty, there is no higher time frame players on a larger time frame who make or break trends. Basically, I don't see any volume activity on a higher time frame. So I would rather wait for it to show up before I assume any change of trend. And even in case of Bank Nifty, in line with Nifty, the trend is to the upside. Tomorrow there is a good chance, there is a good possibility that if at all we start coming down, Bank Nifty may show much more weakness when compared to Nifty. And this is purely from a comparative analysis. So if at all it is any short trades, then I would rather prefer BN. And if at all if it is any long trades, then I would rather prefer Nifty in for tomorrow. I hope this video was useful, folks. I'll make sure to put the same levels in the description below so that it becomes easier for you. And if you like the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and also join my Telegram channel where I share my analysis and live markets and trades. Thank you and see you all tomorrow.